In this lecture of finite element analysis, we will study the concept, shape functions, and some metric equations which are important in the topic of finite element analysis. We will study an important concept in finite element analysis, shape functions. What is the purpose of shape functions? Why it is used in finite element analysis? Look at the picture shown here. It's a triangular element with three nodal points, and also non-nodal points are also shown inside the triangular element. In finite element analysis, we get values of the field variable like displacement directly only at the nodal points. Three nodal points are shown at the picture, but we need displacement at the non-nodal points like the 3 points shown in the figure. How can we calculate that? For that, we use the functions, shape functions. It is done by getting the value of the nodal points field variables, then interpolating that values and getting the values of the field variables at non-nodal points. For a three-node triangle example shown in the picture, the field variable is described by the approximate relation shown here. That is phi of xy equal to n1 phi 1 plus n2 phi 2 plus n3 phi 3, where phi 1, phi 2, phi 3 are the values of the field variable at the nodes, and n1, n2, n3 are the interpolation functions, also known as shape functions or blending functions. Phi 1, phi 2, phi 3 can be displacements at the nodes 1, 2 and 3. Those values will be multiplied by another polynomial or function known as shape functions. Then we will get the value at a non-nodal point where x and y are the coordinates. So in finite element approach, the nodal values of the field variable are treated as unknown constants that are to be determined. The interpolation functions are most often polynomial forms of the independent variables derived to satisfy certain required conditions at the nodes. We have seen the polynomial forms earlier in an earlier lecture, like u equal to a0 plus a1x, u equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2y if it is a two-dimensional problem, or if it is a quadratic polynomial, then u equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square. Those examples we have seen earlier, polynomial examples. Interpolation functions are predetermined known functions of the independent variables, and these functions describe the variation of the field variable within the finite element. In one-dimensional problem, the basic field variable is displacement. So we can write the general equation u is equal to sigma naui, where u is the displacement at any point other than the node. For two noded bar element as shown below, the displacement at any point within the element is given by u is equal to sigma naui, that is equal to n1 u1 plus n2 u2, where u1 and u2 are nodal displacements that we will directly get from the analysis. Then if you want to get the displacement at a point in between, that is at P as shown in figure, then we will use the formula u is equal to n1 u1 plus n2 u2. U is the displacement at the point P, and n1 and n2 are the shape functions. So that is the use of shape functions. Then what are the characteristics of shape functions? The shape function has unit value at its own nodal point and zero value at the other nodal point. Look at the picture shown. two nodes 1 and 2. N1 is the shape function at 1, N2 is the shape function at 2. Then the value of N1 will be 1 at node number 1 and 0 at node number 2. Correspondingly, the value of N2 will be 1 at node number 2 and 0 at node number 1. The variation of N1 is shown in picture 2 and variation of N2 is shown in picture 3. Then second characteristic, the sum of shape function is equal to 1 at a point. For example, we know that at point number 1, n1 plus n2 equal to 0 because n1 equal to 1 and n2 equal to 0. And point number 2, n1 plus n2 equal to 0 because n1 equal to 0 at that point and n2 equal to 1. And any point in between 1 and 2, n1 plus n2 equal to 1. So at all points, n1 plus n2 equal to 1. That is the second characteristic. Then the third characteristic is the shape functions are always polynomials. The polynomial functions we have seen earlier. Example, for a one-dimensional problem, polynomial can be u is equal to a0 plus a1x. If it is a linear polynomial, and if it is a quadratic polynomial, u is equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square. So n1 and n2 are always polynomials. That is a third characteristic. Stiffness matrix for one-dimensional bar element. It's a derivation, but we are not studying the derivation here. Only the final formula is explained here. Derivation you should study from the textbook. So consider a bar element with nodes 1 and 2 as shown in the first figure. u1 and u2 be the nodal displacement parameters, otherwise known as degree of freedom. You can see that u1 and u2 at node 1 and 2 respectively. Then the stiffness matrix for this kind of one-dimensional bar element is given by K is equal to AE by L into a square matrix. Inside that 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So this is the stiffness matrix for one-dimensional bar element. General formula, K is equal to AE by L into a square matrix with 1 and minus 1 as the numbers, where capital E is the area of cross section of the bar element, E is the Young's modulus, L is the length of the bar. To check whether the matrix satisfies the conditions of a stiffness matrix, what are the conditions of a stiffness matrix that we had studied earlier in another lecture? First condition was it should be a symmetric matrix. Yeah, if you look at the matrix here, 1 minus 1 minus 1, it is a symmetric matrix. If we exchange rows and columns, it remains the same. Then the second condition was the sum of elements in any column is equal to 0. If you look at the matrix in any column, the numbers are 1 and minus 1, then therefore the sum is 1 plus minus 1 equal to 0. In the second column also, the sum is minus 1 plus 1 equal to 0. So it satisfies the conditions of a stiffness matrix. So this is the stiffness matrix for one-dimensional bar element. Next we will see finite element equation for one-dimensional bar element. The equation is very important. The equation is derived from the general force equation that we have seen earlier. F is equal to K into U. That is given as equation number 1 here. Where F is the force matrix, K is the stiffness matrix, U is the displacement matrix. K is a square matrix, F and U are column matrices, or they are vectors. For a two-noded bar element as shown in the previous figure, The force matrix F can be written as F is equal to F1 F2 in flower bracket as shown in the figure 1 here, and U displacement at nodes 1 and 2 can be written in the matrix form as U1 U2 in flower bracket. Then substituting these values of F and U in equation number 1, then we will get the equation as shown here. F1 F2 left hand side equal to AE by L into in square bracket 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, then again in flower bracket U1 U2. This is the finite element equation for one dimensional bar element with two nodes. It's a very important equation. By heart this equation. Another equation is given here, the load or force vector F. Consider a vertically hanging bar of length small l, uniform cross section capital A, density rho and Young's modulus capital E. The bar is subjected to self-weight xb since it is hanging. So after derivation we will get the equation shown here, F equal to rho al by 2 into the column matrix 1 1. The derivation is in the textbook, that should be studied, but that is not explained here. By heart the equation F is equal to rho al by 2 1 1. For doing the problems, this equation and the previous equation for finite element, the previous equation, that is F is equal to K into U, are important. So write these equations and by heart the equations very well to do the problems in the coming classes.